What if I told you the weather pattern about to hit America could impact over 200 million people in just 7 days? Stay with me, because what happens at the 5-minute mark will change how you prepare for this week. A massive chain reaction is already starting. Right now, as you're watching this, severe storms are forming across the southeast. Tornado warnings could go up within hours. At the same time, the West Coast is bracing for impact. This isn't a coincidence. This is the beginning of something much bigger. Here's the number that should wake you up: 35 degrees. That's how far above normal temperatures will surge by Friday in the Midwest. 35 degrees Fahrenheit above average. When was the last time you saw that kind of extreme swing? And here's what most weather reports won't tell you. This heat isn't coming alone. Remember that phrase from Ecclesiastes, "To everything there is a season"? Well, this season is about to get intense. The clash between warm and cold air masses is setting up what meteorologists call a perfect storm scenario. And it's all happening this week. Let me give you the 30-second reward you were promised. By Thursday and Friday, we're looking at one of the most significant storm systems of 2026 so far. Yes, we're only in early January, but this system could bring snow, ice, severe thunderstorms, and possibly even blizzard conditions all at the same time. Over 20 states could be affected. But here's where it gets really interesting. At 3 minutes 20 seconds, I'm going to show you exactly which day your area needs to be on highest alert. Don't skip ahead, because the pattern building up to that moment tells the whole story. Let's start with what's happening right now. The jet stream, those massive rivers of wind high in the atmosphere, is completely repositioning itself. Think of it like God's hand rearranging the atmospheric puzzle. Currently, the jet stream is angled from northwest to southeast, pulling Arctic air into the Great Lakes and Northeast. That's why it's been so brutally cold there. 15 million people in the Midwest woke up to temperatures below 20 degrees this morning. But here's the twist. By Wednesday, those same areas will see temperatures 20 to 30 degrees above normal. That's a 50-degree swing in just 72 hours. Now here's your first major alert point: Sunday. Mark this day. A sneaky storm system is forming in Minnesota. Why sneaky? Because it's going to develop very quickly. Within 6 hours, we could see heavy snow squalls across central and northern Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan's Upper Peninsula. But the real danger? Freezing rain. From Minneapolis through Milwaukee, possibly reaching Chicago. Ice accumulation. Anyone who's driven on ice knows what I'm talking about. The Bible tells us to be wise as serpents. Well, wisdom this Sunday means staying off the roads if you're in these areas between noon and 8 p.m. 1 to 3 inches of snow. Up to 1/10 of an inch of ice. That might not sound like much, but trust me, 1/10 of an inch of ice can shut down highways. Untreated surfaces will be like skating rinks. Now, let's talk about the heat wave. This is where things get truly unusual. By Monday and Tuesday, the Great Plains will be 20 to 30 degrees above average. By Wednesday and Thursday, almost the entire country turns orange and red on the temperature maps. Orange means above average. Red means significantly above average. Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, 30 to 35 degrees above average by Friday and Saturday. We could see temperatures in the 60s and 70s where it should be in the 30s. In January, let that sink in. Here's why this matters. Warm air is fuel. When you combine this kind of warmth with moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and a powerful jet stream, you create the perfect ingredients for severe weather. As the good book says, the rain falls on the just and unjust alike. This weather pattern doesn't discriminate. Record-breaking heat is forecast for Friday afternoon. Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, we're talking potential record highs. Some areas could reach 70 degrees Fahrenheit. In January, now we're at the 5-minute mark, and here's the big reveal, I promise. Thursday and Friday are your critical days. This is when the pattern completely flips. A massive storm system will be crossing the Rocky Mountains, merging with Gulf moisture. What happens next could affect more than half the country. The GFS model? That's one of our most reliable forecasting tools, is showing this as by far the biggest storm system of the year so far. Upper-level winds will be extremely intense across the Northeast by Saturday. We're talking about a system that could bring severe thunderstorms to the south, heavy snow to the plains and Midwest, and possibly blizzard conditions to some areas. Here's a number that should get your attention. 100,000 providers. No, that's not weather-related, but it matters for your preparation. Winter is when people put off health checkups. We tell ourselves we'll deal with it later. But what if this storm keeps you homebound for days? What if you need to check on something before conditions get bad? Having your health squared away before major weather events is part of being prepared. It's being a good steward of what God has given you. Back to the weather. Thursday's storm formation happens in Kansas. That's your ground zero. From there, the system will organize and strengthen. The question isn't if this storm will be significant. The question is exactly how significant and where the worst impacts will be. Severe weather is definitely possible Thursday. We could see damaging winds, large hail, maybe even tornadoes. The exact threat level is still uncertain, but temperatures will be warm enough across the south and lower Midwest to support strong to severe thunderstorms. Snow is more certain. From the Rocky Mountains eastward into the Midwest, we're looking at accumulating snow. How much? That depends on the exact track. But with this type of setup, a blizzard wouldn't be out of the question for parts of the northern plains and upper Midwest. Blizzard conditions mean winds over 35 miles per hour with falling or blowing snow, reducing visibility to less than a quarter mile for 3 hours or more. We've seen this kind of setup before, and it can be paralyzing. Interstate closures, airport shutdowns, the whole deal. Here's something critical at the 11-minute mark. The GFS model's recent runs show this storm much broader and larger. That's actually a double-edged sword. A broader storm might spread impacts over a larger area but with less concentrated intensity. A tighter, more focused storm could bring more extreme conditions to a smaller area. We need to watch this closely over the next 48 to 72 hours. Models will get a better handle on it. But here's what we know for sure. Significant weather is coming to a large portion of the United States between Thursday and Saturday. Let's talk about today's threats. Right now, we have severe weather developing in 2 areas. First, the Southeast, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida have a marginal risk of severe weather. The main threat? Damaging winds and hail are also possible. Second area, the West Coast just north of San Francisco, another marginal severe weather risk. Yes, California can get tornadoes. In fact, we already had our first tornado of 2026 on January 1st, just 12 hours into the new year. It touched down near 3 Points, Arizona. For the Southeast today, the window is roughly 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. around Tallahassee is the highest concern area for a brief tornado between 3 and 6 p.m. If supercells can organize, we could see spin-up tornadoes. Have your tornado action plan ready. Multiple ways to receive warnings: weather radio, phone alerts, local TV. As Jesus taught his disciples to read the signs of the times, we need to read the signs in the atmosphere. This isn't about fear. It's about preparedness. It's about protecting your family, your neighbors, your community. Tonight and into Sunday morning, the West Coast gets hammered. A big storm system will slam into California with excessive rainfall. Higher elevations will see snow. Then another system Monday and Tuesday, and possibly another midweek. The West Coast pattern is very active right now. By Sunday evening, all eyes turn to that Midwest ice and snow threat I mentioned. Then the focus shifts to the major system developing for mid to late week. Temperature-wise, the Northeast has had a brutal winter so far. Very cold. Very snowy, but even the Northeast will warm up by Wednesday and Thursday. Not as dramatically as the plains and Midwest, but above average nonetheless. Then by next weekend, temperatures will start dropping again in the Southeast. No Arctic blasts are currently forecast, but there's a signal for potential very cold air around January 15th through January 22nd. Here's what you need to do right now. Check your emergency supplies: batteries, flashlights, bottled water, non-perishable food. If you're in the snow belt, make sure you have ice melt or sand. Check your car emergency kit: blankets, water, non-perishable snacks, phone charger, If you're in tornado-prone areas, know your safe spot. Interior room, lowest floor, away from windows. If you're in a mobile home, know where the nearest sturdy shelter is. For our friends in the northern states, if you don't need to travel Sunday or Thursday through Saturday, consider staying home. Is the trip necessary? Can it wait? Sometimes the best decision is the one that keeps you safe at home. Check on your neighbors, especially elderly folks living alone. Make sure they're prepared. Make sure they have heat, food, a way to communicate. That's what community means. That's what faith in action looks like. As we close in on 15 minutes, let me leave you with this. We're entering one of the most active weather patterns we've seen in months. Multiple systems, dramatic temperature swings, severe weather potential, winter weather threats, all converging in one 7-day period. This isn't about fear. This is about being informed, prepared, and watchful. As it says in Matthew 24:42, therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. We keep watch over the weather, not to be afraid, but to be ready. The best part about modern forecasting is we have several days' notice. Use that gift wisely. Prepare your home, prepare your family, and stay informed. Check back tomorrow because this Thursday-Friday storm system will become much clearer in the next 24 hours. The models will fine-tune the track, the intensity, and the specific threats. By tomorrow, we'll know much more about snow totals, severe weather risks, and exact timing. The pattern is set. The ingredients are coming together. Now it's just a matter of watching it unfold and being prepared for whatever comes. Stay safe out there, stay weather aware, and remember, preparation isn't panic. Preparation is prudence. It's wisdom. It's taking care of what God has entrusted to you. And I'll see you in the next update with more detailed information about this major storm system. God bless and stay safe.